up, Hattiesburg? It's your girl, Miracle Jennings, back from the shadows and bringing all the Halloween vibes for Southern Miss today. Stay right where you are because I've got a very special guest creeping into the studio later you won't want to miss. We'll also dive into the ladies on campus and across our Hattiesburg haunts. So grab your pumpkin spice and brace yourself for a spine-tingling ride. Southern Miss today will be right back right after this.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
All right, my ghostly listeners, welcome back. Get ready as we dive into the thrilling happenings across campus, Hattiesburg, and beyond. Whether you're snuggled in with your morning coffee or in between classes, today's news has all the intrigue to match the spirit of Halloween. So let's dive right in. Today, on Wednesday, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., the Air Force ROTC and Army ROTC are hosting a friendly competition to encourage blood donations. This isn't just any blood drive. It's a spirited showdown to see which team can bring in the most donors. Donors will choose to check in at either the Air Force or Army table, and together they're aiming for a goal of 150 pints. Just one pint equals one donor, so if you're able to, stop by, support a worthy cause, and help make a difference. Every drop counts. Halloween Day brings a special treat with the Halloween's Makers Market. Running from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Union Lobby, this event is a fabulous opportunity to check out one-of-a-kind handmade goods from local artists and makers. From unique crafts and spooky decor to seasonal gifts, there's something here for everyone. Perfect if you're looking to add a little extra touch of Halloween spirit to your space or grab something creative to kick off the season of giving. Later in the day on Halloween from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can stop by the Joe Paul Theatre to catch the 3-minute thesis competition. Created by the University of Queensland in Australia, this competition challenges students to condense their research, thesis, or dissertation into a compelling 3-minute presentation for a non-academic audience. It's a chance to witness students showcasing their research skills, all while fine-tuning their elevator pitch for real-world applications. You'll not only gain insights into their hard work, but also see the creativity and passion behind the academic pursuits at Southern Miss. And yes, there are prizes on the line, so bring your enthusiasm and cheer on our students as they bring their best. The Repertory Dance Company will be kicking off their fall dance season tomorrow evening from 7 to 8 p.m. with Concert A. This concert is produced by our very own USM dance program and features a mix of student faculty and guest artist pieces. This season, RODC welcomed renowned choreographer and Southern Miss alumni Lawrence Jackson. With performance spanning genres and techniques, the show offers a dynamic showcase of talent, technique, and storytelling that brings the artistry of dance to the concert stage. For more on this event and future updates, follow USM Dance on Facebook or Instagram at USM Dance. If you're craving something family-friendly, catch the classic musical, The Music Man, also at 7:30 p.m. This Tony Award-winning show follows the fast-talking salesman Harold Hill, who sweeps into River City, Iowa, with a plan to make a quick buck by selling the town on a boys' band. But when he unexpectedly falls for the town librarian, Marion, his plans take a heartwarming twist. With its nostalgic score of marches, barbershop quartets, and tender ballads, this musical has been an American favorite for generations and is perfect for audiences of all ages. It's a timeless tale of love, transformation, and the magic of music. And last but certainly not least, a heartfelt shout to Temple Baptist Church, which hosted its annual Love the Hub Day this past Sunday. This community event brought dozens of volunteers together across Hattiesburg to support those in need, from preparing meals for Extra Table to packing birthday bags for the Edward Street Fellowship Center to creating snap bags for local cancer patients. Even kids got involved, making handmade birthday cards as part of this meaningful day of giving. It's more than just community service. It's about building connections, teaching compassion, and inspiring the next generation to step up and make a difference. Now, as we approach Halloween, let's end the news with a little spooky local lore. Legend has it that here in Mississippi, there's an old abandoned mansion hidden in the deep woods, known as the Witch's House. Stories say that if you enter at midnight on Halloween, strange noises fill the halls and shadows flicker as if something or someone is watching you. Some who ventured in claim to have seen the ghostly figure of a woman, her face hidden beneath a dark veil, standing at the top of the staircase. They say she's the spirit of a woman betrayed by her lover, cursed to wander her home for eternity, awaiting visitors who dare to disturb her rest. So if you're out this Halloween night, take care and keep an eye out on those shadows. And that's your news roundup, folks. But don't go anywhere. We still got sports and the weather and a few surprises waiting for you on the other side of this break. Southern Miss Today will be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And now, Hattiesburg hauntingly proud Southern Miss fans, it's time for Eagle Sports. The Golden Eagles are here to send shivers down the spines of their opponents. Our teams don't just play, they haunt the field. Southern Miss women's basketball tips off on Wednesday, October 30th at 6 p.m. with our Lady Eagles taking on Mississippi College in an exhibition game at Reed Green Coliseum. This is just a warm-up for the season, but trust us, the energy will be downright thrilling. Celebrating 50 seasons of Southern Miss women's basketball, the Lady Eagles are marking 5 decades of basketball magic this season. Since Southern Miss added women's sports in 1975, this program has built a legacy of grit, talent, and sheer determination. Mark your calendars for January 18th, where we'll celebrate this golden milestone with a reunion game at Reed Green Coliseum. For more updates and game details, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now, it wouldn't be a proper Halloween's Eve without a forecast to match the spooky vibes. So here's what the skies have in store at Hattiesburg. Today, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, but don't let the sunshine fool you. Nightfall will bring an eerie blanket of fog drifting in, adding a mysterious touch just in time for Halloween. Temperatures are warm by day, but drop to a bone-chilling breeze at night. So layer up if you're out after dark. Perfect for any ghouls or goblins roaming the streets tomorrow. Up next, we have Mississippi Mamas, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage, with local historian LeGrand Capers recalling the vivid nightlife of the Red Lights District in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Until it was shut down during World War I, Vicksburg was home to a thriving red light district. Local historian LeGrand Capers recalls the city's ornate palaces of gambling and prostitution.
I heard about the area on Mulberry Street, from China Street on the north to South Street on the south, known as the Red Light District, and particularly about one celebrated house, 15 China, that had been in existence in the early 1860s. And where it was said the wealthy plantation owners of the Mississippi Delta came for many, many years to drink, play poker, and otherwise divert themselves. During World War I, the government asked the administration here to close the district to protect the morals of soldiers who came here from Camp Shelby at Hattiesburg, and the city did so. After the war, most of these houses never opened up again. The exception was the famous number 15. It opened and closed several times with different landladies until finally in the late 30s it was run down and ugly and it closed for good.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was your Mississippi moment for today. Coming up, we have the pleasure of hearing from Elena Chastain, so stick with us while we hear a quick message from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Today, I am thrilled to welcome Elena Chastain, a fellow student here at USM and the on-campus publicist for the documentary Dying to Vote. This powerful film brings attention to the sacrifices made by those who fought for voting rights, and Elena is here to share insights about the film's story, impact, and importance. Elena, it's so great to have you here with us to discuss this moving documentary and its relevance today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. So let's dive right in. Can you start by telling us a little about Dying to Vote and what makes it such an important film?
Of course. So Dying to Vote is a documentary that was written and directed by Emmy Award-winning director Logie Mulholland. It follows 2 different stories throughout its entire process, but one of the main stories is about Vernon Dahmer, and he was a civil rights activist here in the Hattiesburg area, and he was unfortunately killed by the Ku Klux Klan for registering African Americans to vote during the presidential elections. Then the second part of the film is over U.S. Representative Benny Thompson, who is the Mississippi representative, and his position as head of the committee for the January 6th event, and their whole process of figuring out what happened and how it was an attack on democracy, and their development of how civil rights would be impacted by it, and all of the important things that it meant to our economy.
Absolutely. What initially drew you to work as a publicist and spokesman person for this documentary here at USM?
My position as the intern for the Center of Human Rights allows me to work on a lot of different projects on campus, and specifically when we were doing a brainstorming session, we knew that we wanted to do an event centered around voting in towards the end of October, beginning of November, since our next presidential election is coming up and it's such an important topic in our current day. And so when we got offered the idea of doing the Dying to Vote documentary, we thought it was a really great way to get people involved and get some eyes on of what the type of situation is and what has happened in the past and why voting is so important.
Absolutely. Can you share a bit about the main storyline and the historical events this film highlights?
Yeah, so it does highlight the story of Vernon Dahmer, who was a civil rights activist, and he goes and is unfortunately killed by the Ku Klux Klan. And then it highlights the January 6th committee, and we specifically during our showing will have Mayor Toby Barker, along with the son of Vernon Dahmer, Dennis Dahmer. They will both be on campus and speaking to students before and after the showing of the film.
How does Dying to Vote connect to current issues in voting rights and civic engagement?
Civil rights has been an ongoing process for hundreds of years, and especially in the last 100 years or so, we've seen a lot of developments from women getting the right to vote, getting African American and white equality, and a whole bunch of civil rights movements towards that. And we have a lot of influential figures, and even in current day, we still see a lot of instances where civil rights are violated, not even just in the United States, but all throughout the world. There's many instances of it going on currently. As the Center for Human Rights tries to discuss those topics and we try and highlight them so people are informed about things happening, we felt that highlighting some stuff of what has happened in the past would best be able to give people the idea of why it's so important to vote today.
What do you hope students here at USM and young people in general take away from watching this film?
I hope that they take away that how important it is to vote. It is said that the youth vote, or those between 18 and 25, is probably going to be one of the most influential votes in this upcoming election. And so them using their voices, choosing who they want to be their leader, that is going to dictate the next 4+ years of our lives. And I hope that everyone remembers that one day this is the country that will be given to us, the next generation, to run, and our decisions will impact what that looks like.
From your perspective, what role do documentaries like Dying to Vote play in bringing civil rights history to life?
I think they play a very important role. A lot of times, stories such as this one can sometimes get lost in the main mass media flow and kind of get hidden, swept under a rug. And so documentaries like this that specifically focus on maybe smaller stories that are just as equally important, they really give insight as to why we need to stay informed, and also highlight even local people who were such a big impact that maybe some people don't always think of because they weren't like the leading faces.
What has the experience of promoting a film like this taught you about the power of storytelling and social justice?
I've learned a lot about especially interdepartmental cooperation. There's multiple different departments on campus who are helping do this film, including the Center for Human Rights, the Student Organization for Human Rights. We also have the Provost Office, the Center for Community and Belonging, and the College of Arts and Sciences Dean's Office. All of them are working very closely together along with myself to get this story out there and make sure that we can get a lot of attendance at this event. And so it's taught me that media can definitely be used to get your idea across and hopefully get a good outcome.
Now, kind of playing on that, for students interested in social justice and media, what advice would you offer on using media to make a difference?
I would suggest that if they ever are interested and they need some inspiration or just want to get more insight into it, they should look into other organizations on campus, such as the Student Organization for Human Rights, and kind of see what they're doing to then get ideas what they could do differently. And then just do your research, know how social media can be used, see the different platforms that are available, what is available to the different age groups, and what is most popular, and that can really help spread the word about things.
Are there any upcoming screenings or events for Dying to Vote that students should know about?
Yes, we do have a screening of Dying to Vote here on campus in the Joe Paul Theater on Monday, November 4th. The film will begin, or the event for the film will begin around 7 o'clock, but before that we will have a meet and greet with some students who wish to come with Mayor Toby Barker and Dennis Damer, the son of Vernon Damer.
How did you approach raising awareness for the documentary here at USM?
I spoke with my superiors at the Center for Human Rights, Dr. John Meyer, who is the director of the center, along with Dr. Bob Press, who is on the faculty and on the board. And both of them kind of gave me some insight as to what they wanted the overall goal to be, which was high attendance, lots of students participating. And then they kind of gave me the reins for it and said, let's figure out what's best to do some things. And so then, in collaboration with all the other departments on campus, I was able to contact different student organizations who may be able to help publicize some things, as well as getting some social media, some graphics, getting just the word out there as much as possible.
Which strategies have you found effective for getting students engaged with social justice films like this?
I think basically just making sure that they're aware of the thing and putting it in their face as much as possible, just making sure they see it to the point that they can't ignore stuff, because a lot of things with social justice and civil rights is people ignore it because they don't want to realize how important and impactful it is for our lives today. And so making sure that it's in their faces, they see it constantly every single day, that makes them aware and gets them thinking, hey, maybe we should talk about this more, maybe we should look into this, and then we'll hopefully get them to attend the event.
I absolutely agree. That definitely works. Are there any specific scenes or stories in the film that you think will resonate with most young audience?
I think the fact that Vernon Damer was an impactful person here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi area will really help, because it shows that there are people from our own community who is actively working and making sure that we can get equality and our civil rights is met and all of those things. And so them knowing that and being able to hear the story of how important that was and how impactful he was, I think that will really help.
In your view, why is it essential for people to understand the history of voting rights, especially today?
In order to understand how important it is to vote today, we have to understand where we started and how far we've come with voting rights. In this country alone, women have only been able to vote for the past over a little over 100 years. And then we have all of the other civil rights and equalities that are so important. And so knowing the history, knowing how hard people have fought for this, and being able to say, yeah, no, we're still working on this. This is still, there's still some progress that can be made. I want to be a part of that solution. That will, we hope, really get people involved and included and want to make that difference.
Now, can you walk us through the process of promoting this documentary here at USM? Are there any particular challenges or memorable moments that you tend to keep and hold in your heart?
Promoting things here on campus it's really easy when you're working with other organizations. All of them have been incredibly helpful. We all have our different plans where we laid out, which department's going to handle what, and then helping out with financing and things like that. So I think that's been super helpful because not just the burden isn't just on one department alone. And so allowing that to happen, to promote it on campus, just gets the word out there. And then promoting things in general, I think, is just a great way for people to know what's going on and be able to get involved.
How do you think Dying to Vote can inspire today's generation to become more active in democracy?
I think Dying to Vote is a wonderful film that, when it has been viewed in the past, has had great impacts on those that have seen it. And they have all agreed that this is something that more people need to be aware of. They need to talk about. Even one of the people that we work with now for this publicization, Dolores McNair, in the Center for Community and Belonging, she herself saw this film and told me how absolutely impactful it was to her and how she really enjoyed it. And as soon as she heard that the opportunity to bring it to campus was there, she really wanted to help and work with that. And so just the idea that it can touch every single person and it's relevant in our today's world, even though it's a historical film, it's very important.
Yeah. What impact do you think the film has on viewers who may not be very familiar with civil rights history?
I think it will be a good beginning, that if you're not very knowledgeable about civil rights history, it would be a good starting point to know, okay, here's maybe a story that we can just start with, and then you get interested in it and you can build on it and you can do your own research. You can watch other films that are out there about multiple other figures and just know what's going on and be able to build that history and foundation of our own knowledge that will then get people interested in voting and democracy and having that active role in our life.
Is there a particular message or theme from the documentary that you personally find especially moving or relevant?
I think the message that I took away from it is understanding that we have fought for many, many years for civil rights. And though a lot of things seem like they have gotten better, there are still things that need improving. And we need to continue fighting for those things and not forget that with all the other craziness happening in our world, not forgetting that that's still there. And it's relevance that this is not only something that has happened in the past, but like the January 6th event, this is something that happens now and it can happen again.
Yes.
So knowing that and realizing that we need to take an active role in this civil rights movement to ensure the future of our country, that's what I really took out.
Yeah, that's honestly beautiful, and I absolutely agree. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about saying Dying to Vote? Why should they watch it?
I would say if you're on the fence, I typically encourage you to do it anyways, because obviously there's some part of you that maybe wants to do it, so you should probably try it at least once. But I definitely think everyone should watch this film at least once, if only to get that base foundation of why it's important and how it impacts our local community, as well as just getting it to, it will help start the conversation of why voting is so important. And with the voting day coming up on November 5th, we have got to keep talking about it. We've got to keep publicizing it, making sure people know and get out there and vote.
Now, is there just one showing, or are there going to be multiple showings this next month?
At the moment, we have our current showing on November 4th. Based off of that, we are looking into doing more showings after the voting has taken place, but we really wanted to get one in before voting. And after that, we are looking into doing more if it's possible.
Now, Elena, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. Your work as a publicist here on campus for Dying to Vote brings attention to an essential part of our history, inspiring viewers to reflect on the meaning and value of our rights. We appreciate you being here and sharing this conversation with us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Coming up, we have a news wrap with Nish Ranika reporting on a new sensory room for neurodivergent computer science students on campus.
For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Nishranika. Sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, I just want to stay in a quiet room with calming lights and a weighted blanket. And while I can do that on campus, computer science majors will soon be able to. The School of Computing Sciences and Computing Engineering is now opening a new sensory room to help promote socialization and productivity among neurodivergent students. The department noticed that neurodivergent students often found it difficult to navigate the sensory-rich environment of college. Dr. Liz McGowan explains the purpose of the room.
So the room was originally created to give neurodiverse students within the computing science and computer engineering space to go if they, were experiencing sensory overload or, needed somewhere quiet or, if they were anxiety or having issues like that. So
the room will be equipped with a range of sensory tools like weighted blankets, noise-canceling headphones, fidget toys, and calming lighting. Jessica Hillman, the assistant to the director of the USM School of Computing Sciences, explains that the room was made to help students manage anxiety and stress and foster social skills.
And I think the goals were, you couldn't say it better than this, the primary goal of this project is to create a sensory room that caters to the unique needs of the neurodiverse students. And our objectives are reducing the stress and anxiety, regulating sensory input, improving focus and attention, and fostering the development of social skills and relationships. I think that's key.
Students also seem excited about the room. Stephen Josie, a computer science major, expresses his views on the topic.
Having a sensory room would definitely help the students. It will especially help the individuals who have ADHD or who have problem focusing. And these days, distractions can bother us a lot. So having a room dedicated, having a room that helps us focus will definitely be a plus to the department.
I wish chemistry department would do that, but I will have to take care of my chemicals-induced headaches at home for now. For Southern Miss Student Media, I'm Nishanika.
Thank you so much, Elena, for coming into our studio today and sharing the chilling truths behind Dying to Vote. And as always, a massive shout out to everyone who conjures up Southern Miss today. Carl, our audio engineer, Gabby, our film producer, Shania, our program director, our executive producer, Hannah, our assistant producer, and of course, our general manager, Dr. Martin. We couldn't do it without you guys. I'm your host, Miracle Jennings, signing off, wishing you a spine-tingling day, happy Halloween. We'll catch you next time on Southern Miss Today.